Hey everyone, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm back with another solo variant, also co-op in this case. Really excited about this one. I've been working on it a ton. This is a solo variant, unofficial, for Super Fantasy Brawl. This is a skirmish game for 2 to 4 players, and no real disclaimer needed for this one. I did buy the entire first season myself, cost quite a bit, but they are sending me the round 2 miniatures and cards just so I can add to them, and I've already implemented them in the variant. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a disclaimer there at the end, but I was doing this whether they sent me anything or not. I'm going to do kind of my normal thing for variants. I'm going to start out by explaining the regular gameplay, then I'm going to talk about the solo Automa, and then I'm going to do a full playthrough. Feel free to skip to any of those parts if you want. And if you like the content of the One Stop Co-op Shop, if you like me making these variants, please consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive content every month. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more playthroughs and content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. So Super Fantasy Brawl is a card-based, squad-based, tactical kind of battler game. And in 1v1, or for my mode, solo, you have 3 heroes against 3. If you do co-op or 2v2 competitive, then you have 2 and 2, 4 people against 4. And you're trying to be the first team to earn 5 trophies, 5 victory points. First of all, you get 1 victory point whenever you defeat one of the enemy heroes, but nobody dies forever. They just go back to their gate and then come out and enter the fray again later. But the main way you get victory points is through these challenge cards. You start with 1 on the leftmost space. By the way, that's a new rule for the latest version of the rules. It used to be 2 at the start. And at the end of every round, they're going to slide down 1 space and a new one will come out. And the current number of trophy icons beneath the challenge card are the number of trophies it's worth if you complete that challenge, which is checked at the start of your turn. And most of the challenges deal with these control spaces and these statues. Let me show you those. You've got these 3 pedestals in the middle of the board, each color-coded, the yellow one, and it has these specific yellow control spaces. Those are applicable to certain challenges and not others. And then the red one and the blue one, these little statue pedestals are obstacles you can't move through. And by the way, the game does have these giant miniatures, but you know how I feel about big miniatures. Get them out of here. I'll just play with the icon of the statue there. So that's the basic idea of how you win. You try to complete these challenge cards, checking whether you've completed them at the start of your turn, and you also try to defeat the other heroes as many times as you can. But let's get into the core gameplay. So like I said, each player has 3 heroes. For me, I'm using all 6 of the heroes from the core base box of the game. I do have rules for every single hero that's been released so far, as well as the round 2 ones. It's been a lot of work, but I'm going to focus on kind of the most straightforward ones. So I've got Guayan, the Gathering Storm, a long-distance mage with a lot of splash damage. Goldar, Scourge of the Several Seas. He's a really mobile and kind of card-drawing kind of guy. And then Kilgore, the Ravager. He can throw people, do lots of damage, even some area damage. And each hero has a armor value in the upper left, for Guayan that's 0, and a health value. As you might guess, armor is subtracted from attacks against them, and if they take this amount of health or more, they're defeated. Then they heal completely and come back out later, like I said. And champions also have a leveled up side. They get to level up when they defeat an enemy champion. So like if Guayan blew up one of the Automa's guys, then she would go to her powered side. Sometimes their armor or health stats change, but usually they just get some new special ability here at the bottom. Like for her, her range becomes more flexible for her attacks. And attacks and movement are controlled by unique cards. Each of the champions has 6 of them. And there's 2 types of cards. First of all, there's basic action cards, and they will have an icon in the upper left that matches the hero. So here's one for Goldar with kind of like a little, an anchor, for Kilgore, and for Guayan. Although it's usually 100% obvious because, there's Goldar. He's smiling at you, so clearly that's a card for him. And each card also has one of 3 different core colors, red, blue, or yellow, which correspond to the core gems on your player board. And the basic idea is on your turn, you can take up to 3 actions, 1 of each color, and each time you play a card of that color, you flip the gem over to show it's been used. But sometimes you'll have a hand like this, where you don't have any blue cards, or maybe you don't want to activate the champions that match the cards you have. So you also have these generically available actions. There's one for each color that gives you a single movement, this little boot, and an extra benefit. So for blue, you get to plan. That means you put a card from your hand on top of your deck, so you'll have it next time because you always discard your whole hand at the end of the turn. Yellow lets you heal a champion that's moving, and red lets you deal a damage to an adjacent champion. But you can also use any of the 3 just to move any of your champions 2 spaces. That's a very flexible option when you're trying to get to a specific challenge or objective. But back to the basic action cards, they tend to have the same format. First, they tell you how far you can move. You do that before you execute the action. Then if it's an attack, it tells you the range and the damage. And there's 3 types of range. This one is direct. It has to be in a straight line with nothing in between, no other champions or statues. This one is indirect, so as long as they're within this range, you don't care about anything else. And then many of them are melee attacks. It'll indicate 1 or more hexes, like sometimes they'll actually hit multiple people next to you. And again, that's just the damage value, which is applied against them after taking away their armor. And then most cards will also have a power. They usually use this symbol that's like a little explosion, and then there'll be an arrow above or below. The arrow above pointing left means that it happens before the action. I don't have any of those to show you. The arrow underneath shows that it happens after the action if you end up attacking. So like if I used Ignite just to move but didn't get to shoot anybody, I would not get to apply this ability to it. So those are the basics of actions, but each character also has a single reaction card. Well, I guess a few have too, but that's in the expansions. That has a little symbol here. And the reason it doesn't have a symbol matching them is because any of your champions can use a reaction card. So even though this one is from Kilgore, I could play it on Guyan or Goldar. And reactions, as you might expect, are played during the enemy turn when one of your characters gets attacked. They'll often give a bonus to armor, helping you survive the attack or take less damage. They might give you other abilities as well. But a key thing, very important, is that they still use the colored core that matches them. And since you're using it during the enemy turn and you only flip your cores back over at the end of your turn, you'll actually have fewer actions when you react than you would have otherwise. And that should be enough to go on to get the basics as you watch the video. There are some keywords on cards I'll explain as they come up. There's also some traps you'll see in a moment, but it's all pretty straightforward stuff. Now, how about the Automa? In a lot of ways, they work just like an actual player, because for any of you who've seen my designs before, you know that's what I tend to like to do. I don't want to have like some sort of chase your score kind of thing. But for them, instead of having all 18 cards, 6 per champion together, they've got a 9-card action deck, 3 per champion, and I picked the cards that have like consistent movement and consistent attacks to keep things simple for the AI. And then they've got a 9-card reaction deck. 6 of the cards in here don't matter, they're just kind of filler, and I usually made that the most complicated and kind of hard to resolve cards for the Automa. But their 3 reactions are also in here. So the basic idea is on their turn, they'll resolve the top 3 cards, doing the best action they can with those champions. And then whenever you attack them, they'll flip the top card of their reaction deck. If it's nothing, nothing happens. If it's a reaction, then they'll do the effect on the reaction card. And the biggest differences between Automa and real players is that they don't care about the core colors for these cards. They could play like 3 red cards in a row and it wouldn't affect them. And they also don't pay for their reactions. When they react, it's a free thing for them. But that's all to accommodate the fact that they're, a little bit dumb. Not too dumb. I think they're pretty good, and they do tend to beat me quite a bit. But they can have enough weird swings that I didn't want the player to have to worry about tracking their gems and such. Now, my rules for the Automa are in the video description, but here's like kind of the biggest thing that you'll see as we play through. They have a priority for where they move. And even though there are a lot of steps, it's actually pretty straightforward. First, they want to kill one of my champions. If they can't do that, they want to stop me from getting a challenge. If they can't do that, they want to get a challenge for themselves. That covers a lot of the possibilities. Besides that, they tend to like try to do damage, then try to get closer to challenges. It works pretty well, I think. I mean, clearly I'm biased and I designed it, but I think most people that have played it that I've shown it to have not found it too much trouble running the Automa, so hopefully it works for you all too. So let's jump into things, and I'll explain a lot more details as we go, but here we go, Super Fantasy Brawl time. So at the start of the game, we reveal our first challenge, and it's going to be to control the creation area, the yellow area. Now that goes right here on the spot not worth any victory points, so even if like we did it this round, it wouldn't matter, but you don't check if you've fulfilled a challenge until the start of your turn. So if like both of us run into the yellow area, we'll be set to actually score that one when it slides down and becomes worth 1 trophy. Now we get to pick where our champions go. The Automa always picks to have theirs just kind of spread out randomly, but for me, I'll be a little bit smarter. Let's see, Goldar's pretty fast, and Guyan's pretty squishy. So I'm going to have both Goldar and Kilgore, my 2 stronger guys with armor, ready to rush in there, and Guyan can do like some long-range support. Of course, the Automa has a bit of an advantage here because you'll see we're only counting these 3 yellow control areas, which means they are pretty close to them, but it will be a little tougher for me to get in there. Okay, then we each get to place 2 traps on these trap hexes. There's 6 of them here. Traps are going to randomly deal you some damage, or sometimes they stun you or do other stuff. If you walk onto them yourself or get pushed onto them, there's a lot of forced movement in this game, which I love. First, we have to figure out who's going first, and oh man, I just realized I have the colors totally backwards. Look, because orange should be the sword icon, but whatever. We'll just say it's me, because it's easier to not change these bases. You have these little colored bases you put on the miniatures. So as the first player, I have to put my traps first, and I mean, Clearly, I want to be closer to the yellow. And the Automa makes similar decisions. First, they want to be closer to as many of my champions as possible so that I might run into them. And then they want to be closer to the current challenges. So there we go. That's kind of the obvious choices, I think. Then we'll go into the first round. I'm going to draw 5 cards, and I'm going to get to play potentially 3 of them. Then we'll see how the Automa does their stuff. All right, so oof. This is not my favorite draw ever. I've got 2 reaction cards, but since I'm first and they won't be attacking me, are pretty much dead. And then I don't have any yellows, so I can use that for like a basic 2 move, I guess. Let's see, Kilgore can move 2. Oh, and then he can throw one of my allies 3. That could get them into position pretty quickly. I like that a lot. Or Goldar can dash 5, ignoring champions and traps. Wow, so he can move up to 5 in a straight line. He deals damage to enemies he moves through, so we've got some great movement to start out. And then a crazy long-range attack, Flame Spear. Guayen could attack 3 to 5 range, has to be in a straight line, though, with nothing in between, for up to 3 damage, and she'll push them, which means if they, get into a wall or something, they'll take damage. With their 2 effects, push and pull. Push pushes you straight away, pull pulls you straight towards, and if you can't do the full movement, then you take damage for each point you couldn't do. So this is a pretty... Actually, I'm liking this hand now, but which of these is better? Oh, wait, I'm silly. I just checked the rules, and I forgot. I get to position my heroes after I draw my cards. So there we go. Now if I have Kilgore throw, he can go 1, 2, throw Goldar all the way over there into yellow, and then he can use my spare yellow action himself to get right there. I should have 2 out of 3 spots filled. It's going to be tough as heck for them to get me out at that point. So throw first, I always have to resolve up to 2 movement first, and then I can do the effect. One of Kilgore's adjacent allies may jump 3. Jump means move in whatever directions you want. You can ignore obstacles, you can ignore enemy champions. Usually you can't move through enemies, but you still can't land on a blocked space with an obstacle or a champion. All right, so here we go. This is going to use our blue core. Boom, we discard the card. Like I said, Kilgore with his giant claw here to help you identify him and his big metal face. He's like Jaws from Bond or something. 1, 2. Yeah, I think having them here and here instead of over here. I don't want them to push me into a trap or something, so that should be safer. Okay, then I'm going to use a basic yellow core action to move 2 spaces, and that can be for any of my champions. So Kilgore is jumping in there. Awesome. And then finally, if I can make it work, I'm going to try to Flame Spear somebody. So I can move one, and I can hit somebody in a straight line for me at range 3 to 5 for 3 damage and push them. Let's see if that applies to anybody. Ooh, it does, I think. Yeah. Boom or boom. So this is Dugrun, their dwarf. He's got 2 armor and 6 life. He's super hard to hurt. Whereas this is Darren, their archer crossbow lady. She has no armor. So let's attack her. Sorry, Darren. So whoosh. And just to show them, they've got Zhu Zhao, who's a cool mobile tiger guy with 9 life but no armor. Dugrun is almost unkillable, 6 life and 2 armor. And then Darren, 7 life and no armor. Since I'm attacking for 3 damage, they're going to flip a random card from their reaction deck. Oh, what? Okay, so Darren gets +1 armor, so she'll take 1 less damage. And then after she gets hit, she'll be placed adjacent to me. She just teleported. Wow. So she is taking 2 damage, though, out of her 7. And reaction effects happen before attack effects, so she'll teleport, then I'll push her 1. So she's wow. Now I need to figure out where she wants to go. So she wants to be closer to as many enemies as possible, and then closer to active challenges. So in this case, I guess that one would be a little bit closer to the enemies. And then I push her 1, which, that just helps them. Nothing about that was good, except for the 2 damage. And to close out my turn, every other card I have is discarded. I draw up to a fresh 5, this time with no reactions. Well, that's kind of predictable. And I got all 3 of my cores back. It's over to the Automa. So the Automa tries to resolve 3 cards, and this is the most complicated part of running them, but I hope it doesn't seem too bad. So first, we're activating Dugrun. We don't care about the yellow color. He's going to try to move 2, and then attack somebody adjacent for 2 damage. And if he does hit them, all his allies get +2 against that same target for the rest of the turn. So like I said earlier, the main priorities are to kill one of my guys. Clearly, it's way too early for that. And then to stop us from controlling something, or at least get partway there. So if he could get in here, he would care about that. He also wants to take his own challenge, but there aren't any other ones to do. And then he wants to hurt people. So in this case, this is the only way he can get next to one of my guys to attack. That's Goldar. So he's attacking him for 2, and then for the rest of his turn, we get +2 damage against Goldar. I've got no reactions to play, but Goldar has 1 armor, so he only takes 1 damage, still 7 life. Not really a problem. Oh, we have Darren doing a heavy shot. She's going to move 2, and then attack at 2 to 3 range in a straight line for 2. And if she's on a trap hex, she's interesting in that she benefits from traps, and actually once she's leveled up, she can't be hurt by traps. She'll do 3 damage, and she pushes them for 1 or 2 if she's on a trap hex when she does all this. Now, this isn't going to be pretty, is it? She wants to push one of these guys because her priority is to try to mess up me having challenges first. So she could go here or here and then shoot at Goldar, and she's going to get that bonus. Yikes. But the Automa will only go onto a trap hex if they need to in order to take control of a challenge or take it away from me or kill somebody. So in this case, even though she would do more damage, she's going to take the safer option here. But it's not great for me. The AI accidentally comboing here. So Heavy Shot does 2, plus the knockdown bonus from Goldar being hit before. That's 4 damage incoming. And I get pushed off the yellow. So now if either of them moves in, they'll be able to easily stop me from controlling that at the start of my next turn. Goldar gets walloped for 3 damage. Wow. Yeah, he's half dead. Oh, and of course, Dougroon is going to be the last one to go, and he can take the yellow space and then hit somebody. Oh my gosh, and push 2. And the target is damaged by the push. They suffer stun. Well, this is great. Everything is great. Everything is awesome. So Dougroon wants to come in here, and he can attack either of them. But in this case, the attack won't change the status of a challenge. Like if you just push Kilgore into the wall, it would just do extra damage. So he wants to get the enemy champion that will be closest to being defeated. Clearly, that's Goldar. Now, I am not 100% sure, but I think that Dougroon's thing that gave +2 damage to allies, I think it doesn't apply to himself. If that's wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. So the 1 damage from the attack will be blocked by Goldar's armor, but a push and pull damage into obstacles where you can't complete the movement, that's automatic damage. You can't block it with armor. So Goldar is taking 2 from the 2 pushes that he couldn't endure. And the attack said that it stuns Goldar. It means I have to discard one of his cards of my choice. So I've got Harpoon Strike or Plundar. So Plundar does 2 damage, 2 move, and lets me draw. Harpoon Strike is more of a ranged attack. Ooh, but it has pull. So I could potentially like get one of them off of the objective to help us get it back. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of Plundar. There's a lot of R's in this character. Goldar is very close to defeat. That'd be their first trophy. But they've resolved 3 cards. By the way, there are times where the card doesn't like do enough and the Automa will choose to do a backup action instead. I'll get to that when it applies. But yeah, that turn they were working on all cylinders for sure. Now, at the end of the entire round, 1 turn for each player, all the challenges slide down 1. So now control of the yellow area is actually worth a trophy. Oh, and the red area is next. And with that, we're coming into my second turn, but sadly, I don't control the yellow area. That means having more champions than any other player. I've got 1, they've got 1, it's tied, so when I check it, no score for me. Well, let's see if we can fix that. Oh man, look at this. Oh, Kilgore can do a Maul Thrash and push whoever it is 2 spaces. Now, Dougroon's 2 armor is going to stop the entire damage from it, but the push will take him through the trap, so he might take some damage there, and he'll be off yellow, so I'll be in control of it again. So yeah, let's start with that for my blue core. So I'm not going to move Kilgore at all. You don't have to use the movement value. I'm just going to attack. And just to show you a few more times, I will use my blue core. But wait, we get to flip a free reaction for the A. What the heck? Come on now. Why is everything going perfectly for them? This is their second reaction out of 3 in their 9-card deck. So the good thing is we're not going to get any for a while. But look, this is Dougroon's own card. It says negate any displacement effects caused by the attack. I don't move him. Which means my 2 damage blocked by his armor, my 2 push blocked by his reaction card. Come on. But like I said, now the Automa has 7 reaction cards in their deck, and only 1 of them actually does anything, so it'll be a while before it's useful again. Now, what else can I do? Okay, Fury for Kilgore. He's not hurt, so he doesn't need to heal. And the only person next to him is Dougroon, and 2 damage won't cut it, so that's basically useless. Oh, here we go. Relentless Advance would do kind of the same thing I was just trying to do a second ago. Force 1 means you can move them in any direction, so I could push Dougroon into the trap again, and then I can place Kilgore in Dougroon's space, and then I guess I could use my yellow action just to move Goldar into where Kilgore was. Let's do all that. I'll show you what I mean on the board. All right, so I'm not going to use the 1 movement, but this is in a straight line, 1 or 2 spaces away. I can push somebody in any one direction. This one doesn't cause damage, by the way, if they can't do the movement, and then I go in their original hex. So that's a little bloop. And come on, 3 damage. Ooh, that's the best one! So that means Dougroon just took half his life because traps ignore armor. And then I get to go into his vacated hex. That was my red action. I still have yellow left. And by the way, that was not an attack, so the Automa doesn't get to react, just like a player couldn't. Now, quick rules pause before I take my final action. Whenever a trap goes off, you draw a new one from the supply and then shuffle the old one back in, so they're always active. And the champion who went onto the trap, their player places the trap now. And clearly, they'd rather have it closer to one of my champions, so there we go. And now I said I have my yellow action left. I'm just going to... Ooh, this is great. I don't need to move 2 to get into the yellow area. I only need to move 1. And look, the 1 move yellow action is to heal 1. So Goldar is going a little bit back from the brink of death here. And once again, I am all up in the yellow area. Let's see if I can stay there during the AI's turn. I discard all my cards. I get my cores back. And let's see if my last reaction is hiding in here, because I had 2 right on the first turn. Nope! No saving my people for me again. And go to the Automa's turn, I just realized they actually already control red. But since it's on the 0 trophy space, they don't do anything with that yet. But it's certainly a good start for them, especially if they could also stop me in yellow. All right, so let's see. First, Zhu Zhao's going to get involved. He's got Pounce. Before the action, he can jump 3, so he doesn't have a regular move, but that's even better. And then if he attacks somebody with this 1 damage melee attack, whether he hurts them or not, he can push them 1. Well, in this case, he's way too far away to hurt anybody, but he doesn't mind shoring up their control of red. So he's going to jump over to here. Doesn't want to go on the trap, obviously. And then he didn't get to attack anybody, so he didn't get to push. Now, by the way, this almost required my rules for an emergency action. Like I said, the Automa will sometimes take like those basic 2 movement actions. That happens either when they can't do their action, they can't attack, or they're only making 0 or 1 hexes of progress with their action card toward a challenge. But in this case, Zhu Zhao jumped to a very useful place, solidifying their control of this red space, so he's totally fine with that action. We don't have to do like a basic thing instead. Okay, our second card is Blizzard! So what is Dugrun doing? He can move 2, attack for 2, and then if damage was dealt, deal 1 damage to each other enemy. All right, so he clearly wants to fight them for yellow, so he's going to come in here. He'll hit Kilgore. 2 attack, -1 armor, only 1 damage gets through, but kind of worse, Guayan and Goldar both get hit by the Blizzard. And the Automa's last card, Hit and Run. Wow, Darren can move up to 3, and then attack at range 2, no matter what's in the way. 2 damage, and then she can dash 2. That's a straight line move up to 2 move if she attacks. Now, sadly, she can't stop me from capturing yellow, so she's going to basically ignore that. But she's also not needed for red, so she could move away from there, so she's going to mainly try to attack somebody for the 2 damage. Now, Goldar is by far the closest to being dead, but she'd have to run over a trap to get to him, so she's going to prefer a different option. In this case, yeah, I think by far the best thing for her to do is to blast our little Guayan friend over here. So that's 2 damage she can't do anything about, and then she gets a dash up to 2 afterwards, which, let's see, she wants to be on red again, but she wants to be closer to enemies, so yeah, she'd end up right there. And Guayan not quite as bad off as Goldar, but she's at 3 out of 6 damage. And that is the end of another round. We are about to get 2 trophies for the yellow area, but they're about to get 1 for the red, so that's how it goes. Oh, and now blue, wow. There are other challenges in there that are more varied than this, but just the randomness has come out. So start of my turn, first we check, yes indeed, we have yellow under wraps. We're going to get 2 trophies for orange, woo! And this challenge card goes away entirely. And speaking of challenges, I probably should have mentioned this. It is in the rules that I have for this game mode, but you take out the 1 challenge called Display of Might, where you win it by having 2 of your champions leveled up. The Automa doesn't really have anything in their AI that allows them to think that way. They're very spatial with like control of the board, so you just don't use that one at all. All right, so the Automa is all over red, and they're also way closer to blue, except Guayan. She can get to blue pretty easily. Then in terms of killing them, Dugrun is pretty hurt, but he's got so much armor. Darren's a bit hurt. Ooh. Look at this fireball. It shoots it out to range 3 for 3 damage, and then does 2 damage to each champion adjacent to the target, and that's 2 damage that ignores armor. Yeah, so I'm thinking, what if I either start moving Guayan towards blue, or move her towards red, because I guess she could actually stop them. But no, blue seems a little safer. But either way, then I can fireball Darren, their one person who's hurt, and have 2 of it splash onto Dugrun and get him 1 away from defeat. Woohoo! Yeah, so this is definitely first. And like I said, I think I might want to let them have red. I mean, if I kill Darren, then I guess I don't have to, right? So, okay, she'll move here, even though she's very close to dead herself. So 2 to 3 range, 3 damage. That'll be on Darren. We'll draw a reaction card in a second. And then Dugrun's going to take 2 damage for being adjacent to her. And they draw a reaction, but yes, like I said, very low chance. There's only 1 card out of 7, so this is not an explosion. This card just does nothing. So Darren is 2 from death. And then fire! Take that, icy boy. Dugrun is 1 from death. I love it. All right, so now what do I do for yellow and blue? If I can get 2 more damage on Darren, then she'll be dead, and I can probably stop them from controlling the red spot. I feel like Guayan's the only one who can really make the damage count. Okay, I guess it'll be her. She's going to be right next to Zhu Zhao, and if they activate him, he'll probably kill her. But it's okay. So I'm going to move her 2, attack at 2 range for 2 damage, and then her allies gain +2 against the target until the end of the turn. I don't think that'll apply, because hopefully she'll be gone. But I'm going to have her run in here to stop them from controlling red, and then 1-2, cook Darren, and she did not get a reaction to save herself. So she is removed all the way back to her team's gate. The next time that she would move 1 or more, the first move can take her to any of these little spawn spots. That is a 3rd trophy for me, yes. And let's not forget, Guayan defeated a champion, so now she can raise or lower her ranges for her attacks by 1. So like her fireball, that was a little bit restrictive, would be range 1 to 4. Wow. All right, I still have yellow. I mean, gosh, should I just heal her? Give her a chance of survival? I mean, otherwise, I think probably my best option is to just move one of my guys. So I should try to get Goldar healing. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll move Goldar 1 space with my yellow, and I'll heal him back to 5 damage. Doesn't have very many good movement options. I guess I'll go over here and maybe start walking towards blue. Long trek. And at the end of the turn, I draw back up to 5. Oh, actually, this is not a bad thing. Having 2 reactions when they're right next to a character who could die super easily, that might save her skin. Yeah, so this might work. On to the Automa turn. The red and blue area are active for points, but I tied them up here. Yes. So they're not scoring anything yet. Oh, they're doing the 3 actions. Oh, not good. Zhu Zhao. Oh my gosh. And it's like the worst attack possible, so I got those reactions. So he can dash up to 2 first, and then he attacks for 2 damage, double. So reactions will apply to both attacks, or your basic armor will apply to both attacks. But like if I didn't have any reactions to help Guayan out, he would hit her for 2 and then hit her for 2 again, and she would be super dead. So he's not dashing anywhere because he cares more about preventing me from winning red than he does about winning blue for himself. And I got a block. Which of these do I want to use? Dark Steel Armor, +1, and then the target gains a +2 until the end of the turn. But that won't be after the entire attack is done. So she will take 2 damage from the 2/1 attacks. Although I guess this one's not any better. +1, if the attacker's not adjacent, he is, it's +2 instead. But I don't have another red card, so I think I'd rather use the red to block. So Dark Steel Armor. So that means Guayan has 1 armor for this attack, so it's 1 damage getting through once, 1 damage getting through again, but she is alive, and now she has 2 armor for the rest of this round. So that hopefully will save her butt. But of course, who knows, because lots of things can get past armor, like that trap, or being pushed into a pillar or something. Spring the Trap. Oh, they're bringing Darren back on. So she's got 2 movement. The first one's going to have to spawn her. Then she can attack it up to 4 range for 2 damage if the target is on a trap hex. I don't think anybody is. It would be a 4 damage attack, and if the target was on a trap, they would get stunned. None of that's going to apply, but 2 move, 4 range, 2 damage. Now, she knows she can't hurt Guayan, so she's going to try to hurt Goldar or Kilgore, but she also wants to take control of red or blue, potentially. So I think that would be 1, 2 would be the definite place she's going. And then, yeah, she's going to shoot Goldar, because she'll actually hurt him and get him close to death. I could use Arcane Shield to cancel the damage entirely, but it's only 1 getting through, right? I want to actually have some actions next turn, so we'll just let him tank it and be at 6 out of 8 damage. The last one is Zhu Zhao again. Oh, no, Zhu Zhao, you butt. Look, he's going to pull her one, and yeah, that will be it, because remember, pulls, the extra damage if you can't resolve the pull, is not stopped by armor, so he is killing Guayan. Now, interestingly, he could move here, pull her, and he would have sole control of blue, and they wouldn't be in red anymore, so he wouldn't care about that, or he could stay where he is. So with that kind of tie for 2 challenges, the Automa next checks which one is going to be worth more, and that's clearly going to be red. It'll be worth 2 trophies next turn if they control red. Blue will only be worth 1. So long story short, he's staying where he is, he's attacking her, her armor blocks all the damage, but then he pulls her in for a tiger hug, and that's all she wrote. Automa got their first trophy. But hey, at least Guayan loses all her damage, although she also D-levels and didn't get to use it. Sadness. Zhu Zhao levels up. Adjacent enemies suffer -1 armor. Oh, that's not good if he goes after Kilgore, or especially Goldar the Bloodied. But that's the end of the turn. The red challenge moves down. The blue one. Ooh, take the fight to them. Control the enemy deployment area. So they want to get where we will spawn. Neither of us is super close to that, I guess. All right, let's see. All I've got is yellow and blue. Chain Lightning seems like maybe the best way to get Guayan back and do some bad damage to some people. And it's worth noting that teleport is awesome. She can move 4 like wherever the heck she wants. But because there's not a single regular movement to start, she can't actually enter the arena with it. So she's going to need a Chain Lightning. But then for the blue, yeah, I guess not much of anything. Although actually, Kilgore could try to kill Dugrun here. Because look, Appetite for Destruction, they're already next to each other. This is 1 damage. Lifesteal means he'll heal as much as he deals, although he only has 1 damage. Now, Dugrun's got 2 armor, but look, the attack gains +2 for each ready standard core you control. So if I use this with my yellow as my first action, I'd still have the blue, and I'd deal 3 damage, and Dugrun only has 1 left. But I think Chain Lightning will do it easier. By the way, if you can't tell yet, Guayan is a beast. See, I'm going to play Chain Lightning, so 2 movement. So back in the arena, right here. And she's going to say hi to her friend Darren. Am I going to get a double kill here? Am I going to get a double kill? Oof. Yeah, I might have given myself too strong of a team. But, whatever. It's fun. So I've dealt 3 damage, and then if any damage is dealt, to deal 2 damage to another champion within 2 hexes. We'll see who's within 2 hexes in a second. But first, Darren's giving me this beautiful shot down the line. Oh, wait a second. This is the old damage. I forgot to take it off when I killed her. I was about to say, how'd she get so hurt again? It's still great to do 3 more to her. Well, maybe 3. Let's see. No reaction. So yeah, that's still awesome. And then DeGroon, you are right next door. Bye-bye, buddy. That means Guyan's leveling up again. And I have my 4th trophy. Now, in a traditional game, you play to 5. With the Automa, I have many ways you can alter the difficulty. The ones that are most impactful, you can give them a free 2-move emergency action at the start of each of their turns. They're like always in the best position. You can also take away 3 of the dead cards in their reaction deck, so they are reacting with defense abilities much more often. But the easiest one, and let's just say we're playing with this one, is increasing the number of trophies I need and decreasing theirs. So we're going to say that I need 6, and I have 4 currently, and they need only 4, so they have 1. I might still win, because again, my team is kicking butt, but that gives them a fighting chance. All right, so DeGroon with all his might actually goes down. Now I have a blue action left. I mean, I gotta, I guess, get in red to stop them, or should I just go for blue and let them have red? Well, now if I let them have red, there'll be 3 victory points out of 4, then they just gotta kill Goldar and they win. That's not okay. So I could teleport Guyan, but I think I want to bring like somebody like Kilgore into the fray. Although he's 2 away. I was thinking I would use the blue thing to plan and put one of these on top of my deck for next turn. But no, let's just go ahead and use a basic 2-move with Kilgore. And I want to kind of block for Guyan because Kilgore is barely hurt and has armor. So let's just get like right in there. So now she'll have a super hard time getting a direct shot on her. Shuja will have to go onto a trap to hurt her. She should be somewhat protected. And we've tied them for red, so they're not going to get it at the start of their turn. All right, these 3 go away. And I'll actually have a full set of actions. Remember, I didn't have my red last time because of my reaction that saved Guyan. Or did it save her? No, she died. And no reactions, and only 1 Goldar action. I feel like Goldar's just kind of like hiding in a corner, praying they don't notice him and murder him. Okay, going into their turn, let's see. Spring the Trap is first. Okay, they're going to get... oh no, she's already out on the board. DeGroon's one who's gone. But I still don't think anybody's on a trap space. Nope. So it's just a 2 damage attack with 2 move up to 4 range. Oof, I said nobody's going to be on a trap, but yeah, she's going to move on to a trap herself because she wants to control red for them. And 1 damage. Okay, she got really lucky. Although she is at 4 damage out of 7, so not that lucky. But she gets to place the new one. Has to be here or here, so she'll put it closer to their guy. Okay, she's got a 2 damage attack. She can hit Kilgore. Oh, she can hit Goldar. That's definitely who she's shooting at. Yeah, I still have no reaction, so he is 1 from death. She did 2 damage, -1 for his armor. Second action, challenge. Okay, he's going to move up to 1, and then pull somebody from up to 2 away for 2 damage. Ooh, and this is a weird one. Because look, the only way you can attack somebody with that is right here, to pull her onto red and tie them for the challenge. So by the priorities, this is going to be one of those wasted actions. He's on red and doesn't want to leave. He's keeping them winning red, but he doesn't want to make their challenge situation worse. So instead we look for a champion to take a basic 2 move, and choice is pretty obvious here. It's going to be DeGroon, and he's going to be working towards the blue area, but he wants to be as close to it as he can get. I guess they're all equidistant. But he prefers to be closer to enemies. So, oh my gosh, he's like putting them in death range if I had my fireball, which I don't, but yeah, that would have been bad. Okay, their last action, what are they going to pull out here? Hit and run. Okay, so Darren can move up to 3, attack 2, and then dash back 2. Oh man, is she going to kill? Yeah, yeah, she is. So she, first priority is to kill Goldar. She's going to go, what was he? 3 move and then dash 2. I don't think she can go back to any other red place except this, right? Yeah, so she'll just like move here, shoot him, he's dead, I don't have a reaction, and then she runs back to control the red space. All right, so that's their second trophy. They're at 2 out of 4 now. I'm at 4 out of 6, so we're both 2 away from winning. And like the blue and the red are going to be worth 2 victory points for a little while, so that could be meaningful. Oh no, oh, Darren was a sly dog. You know that space she moved onto? That was a trap space. Doesn't matter if there's a trap there or not. She has +2 armor while on a trap space, and she doesn't trigger any traps. So even though she's got 4 damage, she's going to be almost harder to kill than DeGroon was if I want to finish her off right now. I think we're probably coming close to the end here, so red's worth 2 this round, blue's worth 2. Controlling the enemy deployment area, I guess I'm pretty close to there, is worth 1. And have a champion in each deployment area. By the way, there is an optional rule with the Automa. If it's like too much to try to figure out all the places they could go, you can just keep it to 3 challenges and not draw if there's already 3 on the board. I think it's fine there right now. All right, so they currently control red. I control nothing, but I could get to their deployment area pretty easily. I might be able to kill them with like some of Guyan's more powerful abilities. I definitely want to get them off red at minimum. let's see. Flame Spear. I don't think Guyan can actually reach anybody. Ignite's much easier. And then she give everyone else +2. Do I have a Kilgore card to attack somebody? No, but I can push... I can push Darren off of the trap space. Then she won't be helping them control red anymore, and she'll be vulnerable. Oh, yes. I think I got this. Watch this. I'm going to use Relentless Advance with Kilgore. So he can move one first, but he doesn't need to. And he'll go ahead and force Darren over to here, and then he takes her spot. So now they're tied for red. And I wish I could just use Flame Spear and blast the heck out of her, but I can't, because I already used a red. So we'll Ignite instead. Okay, so Guyan's going to go in here. She does have enough range, but she wants to control red herself. And then she's going to attack Darren for 2, and Darren has no defense. Unfortunately, this part won't help because I don't have any other attacks to make. All I have left is a yellow and no yellow cards. But still, I'm hurting her a ton. Of course, there is one reaction hiding. Nope! 3 cards left, so she probably won't get any help. There we go, she's at 6. And like I said, all I have left is yellow. I think I'm going to move Goldar back in. Let's have him start running toward... Well, he can kind of like go to help with... Nah, I think I'm going to have him go towards blue. That went pretty well. I stopped them from getting red. They would have gotten the win if they'd kept controlling red into the turn. So, yay for the movement. No, I've got a nice mix of cards, and I've got Intimidation if somebody attacks me. Excellent. What's the Automa doing? We have a big fracas in the middle there. Double strike again for Zhu Zhao. So this is another case where, interestingly, he's going to do something a little bit weird. If it was one of my other champions, they'd move in to stop the control of red. But since he's not fully stopping the control, he's actually going to prefer to run in here and have sole control of blue. He wants to be as close to as many enemies as possible, so he'll stop right there, which means he can't make the attack. So now he's just going to hope that somebody else on his team can stop the red win. Oh, geez, or it's him again? Oh, but this time he has a push. So, yeah, that was kind of a wasted card. That almost never happens. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it like that. Might be something for me to look at, but either way, it's fine. So he's going to jump 3 and then push 1 after a 1 damage attack. And yes, he's going to do it to Guyan because she's the only one to actually take the damage and get closer to being defeated. There we go. Although, could use Intimidate. Intimidate would stop the 1 damage, and then he would suffer fear, which means we'd have to move 2 away from her. Well, yeah, him running away would give us control of red. So I'm going to play it for my red action. I'm going to Intimidate him. So I don't suffer the damage, but I do still suffer his push. So the reactions first. He has to dash 2 away from the source of the fear, getting as far away as he can. So he'll prefer here, not getting hit by the trap. And then she gets pushed 1. But hey, I still have control of red with them only having 1 action card left. Although, never mind. De Groon says no. He's going to just walk right in and hit this guy for 1 damage after his armor. So yeah, I think I might have this one. They are struggling. That wasted move for Zhu Zhao definitely hurt him. All right, so red's almost off the board. Not going to be worth anything. Blue's worth 2 for a minute more. Control the end of deployment area. Nobody's even tried to do that. Have a champion in each deployment area. Oh, that's a combo. I didn't even realize. Have 3 champions next to the same statue. Yeah, none of us is next to that yet either. So again, you could limit it to 3. This might be a little complex, but let's see how the Automa does. So my turn. Got Fury. Ooh, Kilgore's next to 2 of their people, and one of them is Darren, who is almost dead. That seems like the card to play. So yeah, let's start with this one. Kilgore will heal 1 after attacking. We can just go to mark that now, and he's going to try to attack both of them. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? Dugrun can't be hurt by 2 damage. All right, so we'll draw for her first. Did not get a reaction. We still have to draw for Dugrun. Didn't get one either. So this is a reaction card. I don't remember which one it is. And then they're going to reshuffle their deck, so they could get a few in a row. But I did defeat Darren. It's my 5th trophy. 1 more, baby. 1 more. But, nobody on the team's even hurt. So it seems like maybe that's not how I'm going to win. Oh, and now this is interesting. I was thinking I would Maul Thrash De Groon out of red. But look where he would go. Right into blue, they would immediately get 2 victory points and win the game. Don't want to do that. That seems like a bad idea. So you know what the heck? I'm just going to use a basic 2 action to get Goldar in here. Yeah, that blue could win us the game right there. And between them having to watch me on red and having to fight the blue... Although, actually, never mind. They're going to ignore the red entirely because they've already missed their chance to get it just like us. Because the Automa is smart enough to know it's about to fall off. All right, I get my 5 cards. I see 1 more victory point. Come on. Let's see what the Automa has to say about that. Heavy shot. That's right. And if Darren's on a trap hex, is she still leveled up? No, she shouldn't be. I did defeat her. Oh, who defeated her? Was it Kilgore? It was Kilgore. Level up, Kilgore. What you got? Immune to stun. That barely matters. Oh, but he does have 1 more life. That's cool. All right, so Darren has to come out. Oh my gosh, where does she want to go? So we're discounting reds. So it's all about enemy deployment area, or 3 people next to the same statue, or blue. But she also wants to be able to attack, and Guyan is one she can get closest to hurting. So she'll actually go 1, 2, and shoot Guyan. Guyan's got no armor. I've got no reaction, so that's just 2 straight up. Next is Mighty Blow by De Groon. He's going to push 2. If the target is damaged by the push, they suffer stun. Oh, this one's pretty obvious. He's going to come in and attack Goldar to get Goldar out of the blue. Oh, and that'll take control of the blue for him as well. So the 1 damage is stopped by Goldar's armor, but he does go pushing 1. It takes 1 damage, which means I have to discard a Goldar card. But he's not really hurt very much. You can get rid of Set Sail or Plunder. Appetite for Destruction has no movement, but it can do a ton of damage. Or... Sorry, I'm thinking about like which ones I want to use instead. So like Appetite for Destruction seems like a great first play, which makes me think I throw away Plunder. So yeah, because that'll be the yellow I'll play. And last card, Blizzard again. So yeah, he wants to stay in blue, so he's going to hit Goldar for 1 damage after his armor and then deal 1 damage to every other enemy. So that's a boom, and a boom, and a boom. But like I said, I don't think any of that is that bad because at this point I think victory points are going to win us with challenges. Speaking of, red slides away. Blue's only worth 1 now. Enemy deployment. God, we gotta go to the deployment areas. I keep on forgetting about them. And have 2 or more champions adjacent to yellow statue. And that's the entire yellow statue, like all 6 hexes around it, not just the 1. Can I get to the enemy deployment? Oh, that's right. Isn't that sail like the crazy one? -5. -5. I need to get in that deployment area. He pushed me into like the perfectly wrong spot to be. Because look, I can't like move 1 and then dash anywhere. I can't go through there. I can't. Okay. Well, I still like my play. Maybe I'm just going to kill Darren. That's worth a victory point. Let's just do that. Because look at this. Appetite for Destruction. +2 for each core. If I play it first, it is a 5 damage attack. And I steal her life. What? She's just blithely standing next to him, none the wiser. Revenge. If the target was not taken out of action, the attacker also suffers the attack damage? What? No, I don't. What? Okay, now this is pretty important. Does lifesteal happen before? No, it's not a reaction thing. It's not like the little arrow. So he would heal himself for 2, but then she would damage him for 5? Oh, wait, he suffers the attack damage. But it did have the symbol that's like automatic damage. Yes, so his armor doesn't count. So, but it's okay. That didn't save her. And now I've got 2 actions to do 2 damage. Come on, I got this. Which one? Ignite, right? Ignite? That does 2. Fireball? I mean, she's literally staring right at her. I think Guyan is going to put the nail in the coffin of Darren's actions. I don't want to do Fireball, though, because that will also pretty much kill Kilgore. So let's go for Ignite. 2 move, 2 range, 2 attack. It's my blue, and then I guess I can still Fireball if I need to. For the 2 move, hey, we can try to do this 3 people next to the same statue thing, but she's shooting Darren for 2. Okay, but will she get a random reaction? Top deck it? Nope. So that is 2 damage to Darren, and that is a win. I get my 6th trophy. So a 6-2 win, pretty solid, although again, there were a few turns there they could have won if things had gone a little bit differently. And like I said, lots of ways to adjust the difficulty. Although honestly, let's be real about Super Fantasy Brawl for a second. It's all about these champions. If you give them the best champions and give yourself kind of a weak team, you can make it a very tough game indeed. I had a pretty solid team. Goldar didn't do a ton, but Kilgore has great movement of enemies to get them off of places. Guyan just wrecks the house down. Although their team was okay. Dugrun didn't have enough, I think, damage output. Zhu Zhao is also just okay. Darren's a little bit too squishy. So while you can certainly use my difficulty modifiers to make the Automa tougher, easier, I find kind of crafting their team more carefully is one of the best ways to make the game a challenge. But there you go, another solo mode from me. Let me know what you think of it, especially if you've played Super Fantasy Brawl before and if this looks good to you. And again, I don't have them yet, but Mythic is sending me all of the round 2 heroes, and they're all in the rules doc, so I haven't tested them, but I've still designed for them based on the cards they sent me. So try them out, see what you think. Good gaming, everybody, and I'll see you at the next stop.